You rocking new Christmas sweaters this year, or are they?
No, these are the classics. I didn't. My mom lives in an RV, so she doesn't work at Mother Pauline's anymore. So I can't get new like thrift store finds like
You
this
know,
gem that
you know,
someone
you can
clearly
go to a thrift store, right?
Puffy. I know, but these were all free
Oh,
for
good.
like an hour's. Like I would work at the thrift store for like an hour or two, and then I just bring home all the free sweaters.
You can't just have John go in with a smoke bomb and throw it in the corner, and when that distract, and you just grab like six or seven and run out the door.
Good. I did go to the Goodwill up here on Oregon.
Yeah.
Not good. Not good.
Not Goodwill. It's like it's okay, Will.
It's okay, Will. It's like kind of dirty, Will. And I know this is odd, but I appreciate a clean, color-coded thrift store that doesn't have carpeted floors.
Oh no, yeah, linoleum, 100%. I agree, absolutely.
Like if you're gonna have that much scabies in your store, you can't have carpets.
No.
It's been a long, exhausting day. Your troubles just won't go away. One thing that gets you through these is watching cheesy holiday movies. You think that you're above them, but you know that you love them. So get ready to listen. Now here comes Kevin and Kristin. Oh yeah.
Hey, welcome to Remark. We are remarking on the 4 Hallmark Christmas countdown films that presented themselves this weekend. I am one of your hosts, Kristin Finger.
And I am two of your hosts, Kevin Reagan. And we will be talking about, as Chris said, 4 different Hallmark films. The first one we're going to talk about is a little something called The Gingerbread Miracle. Hey, Chris, can we do this at the top of the show? Let's fight. I know you and I like when we fight, or I like when we fight. And we said we cannot create a fake fight, but this was real because this happened over texting.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to say this. Gingerbread is gross in all of its forms, as are every single person who likes gingerbread.
Okay. All right. I have to leave. I'll see y'all later. Bye.
Oh, I finally got my own show. Ah, crap, she's back.
What are you talking about? Well, here's the thing, Kevin, I will say this. My taste buds have recently done like a complete change.
Yeah.
I still love pickles. I still love vinegar, but I've never been a huge fan of like a spiced flavor, like a chai tea. Hated it.
Okay.
Like like an apple cinnamon tea. Hated it.
I hate
But
all tea.
literally,
Ted Lasso.
like,
Am I wearing it? Yeah, me and Ted Lasso. I hate all tea.
what is wrong with you?
Hate it. I
Tea
don't
is
like tea.
tea keeps me alive. I only drink light water. No, we called it soft water, not hard water.
Soft water. Yeah.
Soft water and tea.
I like one tea. Mister.
I never liked gingerbread, maybe up until about 4 or 5 years ago. And it started where my mom made her own ginger snap cookies. And I was like, ew, I always hated those. Those are gross. And I was like, fine, I'll try one. And I was like, oh no, I really like it.
Whoa, hold on. Ginger snaps are not the same as gingerbread. Am I wrong?
It's this basically, there's more molasses in ginger snaps. So all you want is the molasses.
That is true. I like ginger snaps. Gingerbread is gross. Like a gingerbread house, the reason you make a house out of it is it's crap that nobody wants. So you go, well, let's just build something out of it.
Yes. No, Kevin, I know this because of baking.
Yeah.
But gingerbread houses are made out of a very different recipe than gingerbread cookies, because the cookies, as you know, are crumblier. The house needs to be able to sustain. So when they do those, like, this is professional baking I'm talking, not if you go to the store and buy like
Also professional house building. So
house building.
Yeah.
You need your lumber, aka the batter, to sustain a lot of icing and gumdrops. Anywho, I bake.
So, Gingerbread Miracle. Let's see how badly I butcher my high school Spanish. So, Maya is a freelance attorney who, after a minor setback, has been living in the apartment above her parents' garage and using the bakery. Yep, I'm just going to say the bakery. I was going to try. I failed. I pulled up.
I will say that all of the actors perfected it. They said it beautifully.
Oh, yeah. I was watching an interview with Merritt Patterson, and does not sound like a Latina name. She was doing a great job. But yeah, so this Mexican bakery held a warm spot in Maya's heart ever since she worked there as a teenager alongside her high school crush, Alejandro Alex Casillas, the handsome nephew of the owner. I think he's handsome, but that was also in the description. So Alex's uncle Luis asks for Maya's help in selling the bakery, not Alex's. But Alex returns from New York to help celebrate one last Christmas in the bakery and help Maya find a buyer for the bakery, whether she wants it or not. Yep.
Yeah. I would like to go back on not just like an attorney. She is a contracts attorney, which they said at least 10 times.
Yeah. Just to drive home the fact that she is not a real estate attorney.
No.
Now, the opening of the film, she gets a brochure from her mailbox from a real estate agent who we find out later is a friend of hers. But we also find out that there is a house for sale. I think it's like the Mattingleys. And she comes to her parents and says, Mattingleys are selling their house? At that moment, I said in my mind, she's going to buy the Mattingly house. Does it happen? Spoiler, find out. Yes, it does.
Spoiler.
Yeah.
Here it comes, Kevin. Get ready for the animation. It's a dead parent alert. Man, Hallmark is really tugging at those heartstrings.
A lot of death this year.
I don't think we've gone a movie without a dead parent or a missing wife alert.
Yeah, that's right. The missing wife, missing mom, missing mom.
Missing mom.
Missing someone.
It's his wife. His wife and the mom's.
Oh, yeah, missing mom for the demon kid.
Yeah.
That's a callback for anyone who watched last week. So it's not just us making fun of some kid. I mean, we did that, but also last week.
So his parents died. Alejandro's parents died. Therefore,
an accident.
Yeah, an accident.
We don't know what
it was.
No.
We can guess. Yep. I would say like Batman, back of an alley, pearls flying. Yeah. Alex is Batman.
Oh man, I have to pick something else. I'm gonna stay in the comic book genre, and I'm gonna say it was very Uncle Ben to Spider-Man, but it was Uncle. Well, not Uncle. It was Mom and Dad Ben. Yeah. And with great power comes great responsibility, which Alex will find out at one point in this movie.
Absolutely. So we also get to meet some other guy because they want to sell this bakery, but there's this like French. Kevin, I will say I enjoyed this, but there was a lot. Listen, again,
I gotta say, I pulled out trying to do any Spanish pronunciation. You were in the French accent, and then you jumped ship. Come on, Chris, embrace it. You're doing great.
I think his name was Jean-Pierre.
Wasn't it Jacques? It was Jacques.
Jean-Pierre was the fake boyfriend she made up, which is... All right, maybe I didn't like this movie as much as I thought I did.
Oh, it was great. I actually liked it.
It was fun. It just got a bit ridiculous with the fact that she went to Paris for her first semester at college. So they were going to be together, but then she did that. And then when he put a letter in was this the movie with the...
She put the letter in his jacket pocket.
Jacket pocket, because we watched another movie this weekend where someone
we'll get to that.
Don't a letter in a
lot of letters. A lot of letters that went unread for quite some time. Yeah.
So anywho, she came back and made up a boyfriend that she had when she was in France, and Jean-Pierre. So this poor guy, what the heck, Ben? Was his name Ben?
No, you're again in the other movie. His name was Alex.
Alejandro.
Yeah, John Ecker, who played Alex.
So many movies.
Yeah.
Anyway, me explaining this took longer than them explaining it.
Jacques is the other baker who is down this time. However, if you go to IMDb, the character's name is Jake, which is not Jacques at all. That is Jake.
That's Jack.
Yeah.
Jack. Anywho, didn't like him from the get-go. And we're not supposed to. But then he tries to, I don't think he does it in a smarmy way, but he like asks her out and stuff like that. Anyway, Alejandro from the start is like, I don't like him.
Yes.
Get off my bakery, get off my girl. Like territorial. And I loved it. I thought it was very, I was like, okay.
Yeah. That was his character flaw. He was not a perfect character, which was great. And he definitely had those feelings of somebody moving into, like you said, his bakery. And so there's also, which I kind of really dug, was there is a cultural thing there, which, you know, being just a very pasty white dude never really crosses my mind. But the whole concept was Alex, was second generation I think that it's a Mexican bakery. I know the actor is Brazilian, so I think that it was his parents came over from Mexico, his uncle came over from Mexico, and they built up this bakery. And the idea was Alex is supposed to be a doctor or a lawyer or something else. He's supposed to kind of move up, like his station in life. And
you're saying supposed to because he said that in the film. Kevin doesn't believe that.
No. That's Alex's interpretation, which his uncle, his Tio, Luis, even says, if I ever gave you that impression, I'm sorry, which was a beautiful moment at the end.
It really was. So he wanted to be a family attorney, but then ended up going into...
Another film. That is not true. That is Next Stop Christmas. And we will get to that on the next stop that we talk about. He is a real estate lawyer, but we find out he's actually more of a researcher, and he does a lot of the boring grunt work. And he has written a proposal for his boss, the partners, and it costs him a relationship with a young lady he's been dating for X amount of months.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, what do you mean? Oh, did you not watch?
No, Kevin, I watched all of these, and this is only week 3, and I'm mixing them all up.
Listen, this weekend, I had problems with a lot of scheduling this weekend. And part of it was, as we talk about this, you will see there is another bakery, or there's another cookery, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one, there's a lot of messiness, a lot of lawyers.
Like there's other careers. There's other jobs in small towns.
Not this weekend, there wasn't.
Yeah, not this weekend. I will say there was a moment where I was very angry at the writers of this movie. And it was where the one woman walked out of the place with like 2 takeout things.
Yeah.
And someone was like, someone's hungry. And I was like, do not come at any woman carrying any amount of takeout food. She needs whatever is in those containers, be it for her 9 children, be it for her 1 husband and a baby, be it for just herself.
Yeah. Be it for her dead parents. Yeah. Honestly, went right over my head. I didn't even notice it.
I was like, what? Someone's judging someone for getting food? Not on my watch.
Yeah, that's some BS, man. How dare you?
Yeah. I will say, Kevin, I really, really think we need to organize a gingerbread race for our friends at Comedy Sports.
Listen, that was fun. That was because like they talked about a gingerbread race, and Alex, so as Jacques or Jake, whichever you prefer, comes in, and Jacques is going to maybe buy this bakery, and Maya invites him to come be part of this big thing that the town does, and it involves a gingerbread obstacle course. And then Alex even says, yeah, we make all of the gingerbread for the obstacle course. And I was like, oh my God, it's a gingerbread obstacle course. This is going to be amazing. It was cool, but not the way I expected it to be. I
didn't either.
Yeah, like they're running through gingerbread. They hold a gingerbread
one-handed. That was a rule. They can only hold it with one hand.
And then they run through an obstacle course, and it's like, okay, but the name is disingenuous.
My question is, because gingerbreads sort of,
Yeah.
whatever. There is no way. They were running up a bouncy house and then they slid down.
Yeah.
I guarantee that was like, those were strapped to the actors' hands.
And glued together. Like that was not, that was like, there was like bolts and stuff.
Yeah. But it was cute though, because like the first station was like putting icing on your roof and then you run with it. Yeah. And then you get to the next station, that's putting things on, and then you get to the next station. And the collide for me was a bit much. It was, I'm really tired. I have literally never collided with a hot guy.
Listen, it's time to bring back falling off ladders. If I can make an appeal to Hallmark, enough with the running into each other, usually around in the vicinity of trees too.
Yeah.
A lot of times, not this time, but still, can we bring back falling off? I don't care who falls off the ladder. Guy can fall off the ladder. Girl can fall. I don't care. Whoever falls off the ladder. I like people falling off ladders. It's my thing. Can I say this, Kristin? One of the things I really, really loved about this movie specifically was the Latin Christmas music that was always underscored. It was awesome. Like, it was so beautiful that I never wanted it to stop through the whole movie. It was just, I loved it.
That's nice.
It was nice. I'm playing right now. Maybe there is. Maybe there's not. Maybe I couldn't get rights to anything, and then
So we haven't even spoken about the miracle in which this gingerbread is. So the legend has it, kids, that if Tio, Alex's uncle, makes a gingerbread cookie personalized for someone, perhaps Kevin is very into Hawaiian shirts. So if Tio made him a Hawaiian shirt gingerbread, Kevin could make a wish saying anything in the world and it would come true. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing about wishes, kids. Sometimes when you wish for something, the wish knows what you really mean and you think it's not happening, and then it happens.
No, that was silly. Because like that whole aspect of Maya, she just misinterpreted what the wish.
The red briefcase?
Yeah, she had the red briefcase in hers. And her wish was, which if you think about it, it was very vague. She said, I wish to be put where I'm supposed to be. That's all she said.
But she made assumptions that was,
all the time. Everything that was like this, well, this is where, and it's like that. The young guy who worked there wished I could get a scholarship to go play hockey. That's very specific.
Very specific.
And he did. He got it because he had like skates or whatever it was. I forget what he made them.
And her sister Kristin, is that this movie? No, Kristin might be a different movie. Anyway,
I don't know her sister's name, but yeah, it was
the sister. That was the photographer. Yeah. Wished she would be able to make her hobby a career. Yeah. And Jacques' mother happened to work at an art gallery in Denver, and therefore loved. Oh my God. I wrote that it was a bit much that everyone was like, that photo with the hands and the bread. Yeah. That's in every Panera bread. That's we've seen it.
But Panera bread doesn't exist in this like reality. So like they invented Panera bread. So that's actually kind of cool. I like Panera bread. Sponsor.
I wonder if this was the origin of Panera bread.
We'll find out next week. Did you notice, Kristin? And I recall last year, you can go back and listen. I forget which episode it was, but you do the work. Why should I? It was, I think, our first live show, if I'm not mistaken. We had Kelly and her father, Ron Vroman, were on the show. And Ron spoke about flower fights in the kitchen. And that happened. It was a storyline that they referenced in the past, and then it happened again when Alex just flung a little bit of flour at Maya.
Just rubbed her nose.
Yeah.
Like
he hit her nose, and then she threw it back, and it was like, it's getting real. Kristin, I wanted to bring up something,
please,
that was creepy and weird. I don't know if you noticed this. I filmed it off of my TV, so I'm going to play that right now. Alex, when he was at his law firm in New York, he comes down the steps after sleeping on his couch. He had been there all night working. He's talking to a woman that works in the office with him. And while he's talking, this weird-looking gentleman in a suit walks behind him through the frame. And I thought that was going to be one of the partners, and but nothing. Keeps going. No big deal. Just stuck in my head.
Uh-huh.
That was in New York. Later, much later in the film, when Maya goes on a job interview to Chicago, She is sitting in a room. She's about to accept this job. And a woman comes into the office and says, the partners will be here any minute. They're just doing some blah, blah, blah. Maya's like, okay, fine. And in that moment, the exact same guy in a different law firm, in a different state, a different part of the country, walks past the door. What the hell?
Kevin, ghost lawyer. It's a ghost.
Oh my God, Ghost Lawyer is amazing. That is a great movie. I'm going to cut this out because I think we should write that.
I didn't notice that guy, but yeah, now I'm remembering which movie we're talking about. And
Yeah. Kristin, can we talk about who would Kristin play?
I honestly I didn't write anyone down.
Oh, there's a good one. There is a good one.
Is there?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. That's a different one. Yeah, that's a different one.
We'll get to that one.
Okay, who should I play in this one, Kevin?
In this movie, you would 100% play Jacques' mom. And here's why. You're way too young to play Jacques' mom. But there's an amazing moment where they come in towards the very, very end of the movie where it's determined that Jacques is not going to buy the bakery. And it didn't matter because Alex decided he was not going to go back to New York. He was going to stay here. Yeah. Jacques' mom has her purse and she says, hold this, and hands him her purse. I don't know. I don't think I've ever held my mom's purse in my life, but whatever. That's fine. So Jacques takes the purse, immediately turns to Maya and goes, can you put this somewhere? Because he didn't want to hold it. And I loved it. And I thought, oh, that purse is going to get stolen and they're not going to want to buy this place because they're going to think there's high crime or something. It had nothing to do with anything other than it allowed Maya to go and put the purse in the back room.
Yes, it was just transactional.
Red briefcase. Yes, it was great.
The first time I handed John my purse was because I was going to go on a roller coaster and he didn't want to go on it. So I handed it to him and he held it. He held it like it had like herpes or something. He was like,
Kristin, naughty or nice, this film, what are you thinking?
I'll give it a nice. I liked it.
It was nice. I enjoyed it. I'd watch it again. It was fun. Kristin, the next film we watched was a little something called Next Stop, Christmas.
Absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. And I am one to admit that time travel confuses me.
Oh, it confused them, in fairness. So this one, Angie is determined to spend Christmas alone, but her usual commuter train turns into a Christmas train that drops her off in her hometown 10 years earlier in 2011. So yeah, this one, let's talk time travel for a minute, because my biggest problem with this movie is, where is she? Like, this is always the problem with time travel, but where is 2011 her?
Right.
Again, there's a magical element because Christopher Lloyd from Back to the Future fame, Doc Brown, is the one who sells her the ticket. He's also the guy on the train, even though he says, that wasn't me that sold you that ticket. And it's like, okay, come on.
So that's what made me not think of this as time travel as much as a magical dream sequence.
Yeah.
Right. So like, I feel like, she was able to go back in time and figure out what she needed to fix. Because at first she thought it was her sister, then she thought it was her parents, and then she thought
her. She thought it was herself at first. She thought she was supposed to marry this guy who is not Adrien Grenier, even though he is Adrien Grenier,
ultralight.
Adrien Granby, I believe. It was just when you first see him and he's got this beard. First, he was very young. Because they obviously do he's older and he's younger. And I had a problem with that character because I feel like Hallmark is in this new space where they're trying to do more realistic. And for the most part, we all know people who are terrible human beings, but for the most part, people aren't terrible. They're just not right for you, right?
Yeah.
But with this one, they were trying to ride the line between both, where it's like, I guess he's kind of okay, but he's kind of not. And it was like, pick one or the other.
Just make him a douche. Like,
that's what they should have done.
Yeah, because we knew already she broke up with him. So we didn't need to see, like, I get that, like, oh no, I made the wrong choice then.
Yeah.
But it's like, you said yourself you didn't. He wasn't that great.
Yeah.
So that bothered me. But okay. I never really believed the whole Clark Kent thing where like people wouldn't realize like, oh, that's you, Kevin.
You
like,
didn't know that whole time. Yeah. Yeah.
Like the glasses thing, I was like, come on. But I'm Kevin, no lie.
Yeah.
It took me until the end of the movie to realize the dude that she ran into in the very beginning at the bar was Ben with the glasses on. I didn't even put.
Come on.
Like,
no,
I felt like
crazy.
I've been lied to the whole movie. I was going to be very mad that Ben knew that entire 10 years that they should have been together and that he just waited 10 years to meet up with her.
So yeah, Ben was a childhood friend and very similar to Boyfriends of Christmas Past, where we see the friend who's always there. That was Ben. So Ben obviously has feelings for Angie. Everyone knows this. Angie's sister knows this. I think Angie's parents know this. Everyone knows this except Angie. But in one scene, even Angie kind of knows this, which is weird because then at the end of the movie, she's like, wait, Ben is in love with me? It's like, what the? Really? Like, but they end up together. And to Kristen's point, because Angie is stuck 10 years before and she has to leave on this train, or who knows what happens, and Ben is trying to get to her in time, and she says, meet me at like the restaurant in 10 years. And she goes back, convenient for her, to meet in 10 years. And when she gets to the restaurant's closing, and she's all upset. And then Ben says, your salad's getting cold, which is funny. And she says, you waited all this time. And he's like, well, I mean, not really. We just saw each other on Tuesday for a date that we were on. So like they've been together.
But then she's like, oh, I remember. Like it happens in that moment. But then Kevin, time travel again. Ben in the Santa suit running to the train.
Yeah.
Sees her go away on that train. That's 2011 Ben.
Yeah.
What happens right after that?
He has to live for 10 years, but does he go to 2011 Angie and say, hey, you travel through time? And she's like, what the hell are you talking about?
Thank you.
Yeah.
How many do we have a multiverse? Like, was that a different Ben?
Are we talking about the multiverse of Hallmark again? We haven't talked about
Kevin.
Yeah. Because with great power comes great responsibility. Uncle Ben knows.
Yeah. The other cool part was that the person that played her mom in this was Leah Thompson, also from the Back to the Future franchise. And I thought that was a very sweet storyline, but like also kind of sad because her parents in the like beginning were divorced, but when she goes back, one of the things she thinks she has to fix is her parents' relationship, which she ideally does in a very sweet way. But I felt for the mom so much because it's like they were empty nest and they thought that her and her husband would reconnect. And then she said something that literally broke my heart and was like, we just ran out of things to talk about. And I was like, oh my God.
That happened?
Can that happen? And then I was like, John, where are you? What do you want to talk about? You want to talk about the War of 1812? What do you want to talk about?
It was nice because they found their way back as opposed to her. Like she concocted this moment where she was able to get her mom to wear the dress that her father originally saw her in. And they were at the party that they originally met at. They got the same carolers, which I thought was a very funny Aunt Mert saying that some of those carolers are dead, which was, she didn't say that. Oh, Kristin, we have a rare dead caroler alert. But it was also nice because it wasn't cheating. It wasn't like
no, it was
issues.
just,
it was he's not good at expressing himself emotionally, which was nice. Like to that's people. There are many people that way. And it was
I married one of them. He doesn't and God bless him. I'm the most emotional like bag of garbage. So it's like
glad. You're always glad. That's the emotion.
Hey. Hey,
glad.
Kevin, you're on a roll tonight with these
Yeah.
puns.
I'm telling you.
There was a brother-in-law that I'm quite interested in.
There's a menu in the beginning of the movie that's blurred out. Most of it is blurred out, and I don't know why they did that. Here's a picture of it. I took this off of my TV as well. Were there offensive meals that were listed? Or
Yes.
Was it proprietary? Like our pot pie? You can't post that in Hallmark. That's our shepherd's pie that, I don't know.
I loved it. I give it a nice.
I give it a just barely nice is what I gave it. I really
Excuse
did.
you.
All right. Hey, who would you play in this one real fast, Miss Finger?
Don't be a ding dong. I'd play Chloe.
Yeah, without a doubt. Allie Trim is the name of the actress. She was awesome. She even references taking an improv class, and I was like, fantastic.
But yeah, I liked her a lot. Like a lot.
Kristin, we then had on the Hallmark Mystery and Movie Channel, Debbie Macomber's A Mrs. Miracle Christmas.
Yes. I literally just finished that before we started.
When a family faces loneliness and loss of faith. I didn't see it. Kristin, what are we talking about?
Oh, dead people?
Are there dead people?
There's dead people! There's dead parents. There's dead children. There's dead.
This is dark.
But that's what I don't understand. Don't even bother with the rest of the synopsis. I need to break this down. Was she an angel? And then, so did she become an angel because her daughter died and her daughter is a ghost?
I don't know the answer to this, but you know who does? Mrs. Miracle herself. Mrs. Santa Claus.
Oh, hello.
Hi, Mrs. Claus. Your house is already decorated. It looks great.
All year round.
What do you do? Like, do kids knock on the door for Halloween and trick or treat?
They do. We give them candy canes.
Oh,
man.
that's
Yeah.
very sweet.
Just the little elf children. The people children would freeze and
Die. We get it.
If they
Yeah,
die,
that's
they're
what
gonna die.
happens.
Yeah.
freeze and die. You can't get around it.
So only elf children, like adult elves, are not allowed to trick or treat.
No, they try.
It would be kind of tricky.
Kristin, I think that they're like forced to work in the factory and they're not allowed to ever have fun.
No, you can't take a break.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So, Mrs. Claus, you got to watch a really fantabulous movie this weekend.
Mrs. Macomber's A Mrs. Miracle Christmas.
Well, I did notice it was called Mrs. Miracle Christmas, and I wasn't in it,
Ooh.
Oh,
which was an issue for me. They were lovely people. They had magic.
sure.
I like.
Wait. I couldn't help but notice you did quote magic, so you don't recognize that as real magic.
No.
Christmas magic.
There was no real Christmas magic because when there's Christmas magic, you always have sparkles flying around, and there were no sparkles.
No, there weren't. I can confirm that. There were no sparkles.
So
There was a bit of a Mary Poppins purse situation. Can you speak to that type of magic?
well, I talked to Mary, and she was not consulted about that.
Mary Poppins is a real person then.
Oh, of course. We have tea on Wednesdays.
Duh, Kevin.
Once again, I have to tell you, Mrs. Claus, like my friend Ted Lasso, I do not like tea. I'm not a fan of tea.
I don't know why it keeps showing us the shirt.
It's a Ted Lasso shirt.
I know, but you're making the show too spicy when you unbutton your shirt like that.
We shouldn't get spice. That's why I didn't put cinnamon in my hot chocolate.
Yeah, thank you. So, speak to, I mean, I don't know if you are a Sabrina the Teenage Witch fan, Mrs. Claus, but one of the ants from that was our main Mrs. Miracle.
Yes.
And I'm just not quite sure how you felt about that casting.
Again, the title. You can't call it Miss Mary. You could call it a random Christmas lady who brings joy and magic to people's lives.
Yeah.
But not Mrs. Miracle Christmas, because
Right.
that's reserved for me.
Now, I assumed Mrs. Miracle Christmas, her first name is Miracle and her last name is Christmas. Is that, Kristin, what you took from that as well?
No, I learned that was incorrect.
This is why I should watch it.
Dirty liar.
So there were some heavy topics though in this one.
Yes.
My question was Mrs. Miracle's daughter a ghost or not? I couldn't tell.
I think she was.
Eventually, she will be. Eventually, we all will be, except for Mrs. Claus, who I believe is immortal.
Yes,
Sure.
that's true. I'll talk to your ghosts once you're all ghosts.
Do you ever have like elf ghosts knock on the door for candy canes, but they're not baby elf ghosts?
We always give the older elf ghosts candy because they've passed on. They deserve it.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Great.
that's nice. That's really nice.
Mrs. Claus, I wonder if you would just do us a favor. I mean, you have access to the book. Could you give us a little? Are Kristin and I, are we on the naughty list this year? The nice list? Where are we at?
Oh, yes. Let me look.
Oh, Chris, we're gonna find out.
All right. Let's see.
I'm not hopeful for you, Kristin.
Kristin and Kevin. Oh, you're written as a pair.
Oh.
Perfect. Yes.
Cute.
Oh wait, hold on. Does that mean I'm linked to? If Kristin's naughty, I automatically get naughty?
This is true. This is true. So right now, you're both at the very top of the naughty list.
Oh,
Let me tell you, means the closer you are to the top, the closer you are to the nice list.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I get it. I get it.
I wondered how that.
We haven't checked twice yet,
Yeah.
so
Oh,
maybe there's time.
I like where we are because any choice that we make, Kev, could
A lot of weight.
keep us in balance
Yeah.
or up or down. Yeah. So I'm fine with it.
People think it's alphabetical, but it's not. They're higher to the top.
Yeah,
They're-
right. Could you imagine, Kristin, if Ryan Pavey gets to make that final verdict? I think we'd be screwed.
I would be at the bottom of the naughty list then.
Who's Ryan Pavey?
Exactly, Mrs.
Mrs.
Claus.
Claus.
Does that mean I'm on the naughty list?
I don't think you can ever be on the naughty list. Mrs. Claus, thank you so much. Hey, Mrs. Claus, is there anything we can plug for you while we have you here?
Oh, yes. There's a musical happening called Christmas Town, PA.
Ooh.
That's full of Christmas magic and joy and puppets. And as it is a musical, there will be singing. And that's happening at the Comedy Sports Theater on 20th and Sansom.
Ooh, that sounds awesome.
You can get tickets at csctix.com or you can go to the full comedysportsphilly.com to get tickets and see that show live and in person.
Thank you, Mrs. Claus.
You're so welcome.
Kristin, the final movie we watched this weekend was The Christmas Treasure.
It was actually a Christmas treasure.
It's not the Christmas
It's
Treasure?
a Christmas treasure.
Is it a Christmas Treasure?
Christmas treasure, let alone many treasures that would necessitate an entire Christmas season. What am I going to do with a Christmas treasure?
After opening a 100-year-old time capsule and meeting a charming chef named Kyle, Lou questions whether or not she should move to New York after Christmas and further her writing career. This has American Idol winner Jordan Sparks along with America's Heart winner Michael Xavier. Kristin Finger. The Christmas Treasure.
This was different. This was a very different Hallmark movie. And therefore I loved it because it actually, we got to watch them meet each other,
Yes.
have interest immediately, really have lovely, deep conversations about their lives.
Yeah.
They never got mad at each other. It just, I loved it. I loved it. A lot of people on the Hallmark group, I don't want to get into them right now fully, but what I will say is that a lot of them said this was too slow for them. And I was like, you mean relationship building is too slow for you?
Yeah.
They like it that they fall in love in a week.
I loved it. I did too. I thought it was great. It was the strongest movie of the whole weekend, and one of the strongest, if not the. I have to recalibrate, and we can do that at the end because I had said Christmas Sale, which I still think was great. It's not my number one. This was my number one of this weekend. It's probably my number two overall. I enjoyed it, and Michael Xavier was in Christmas Only Comes Twice last year, which we talked about, which wasn't a very good movie. And I think we even referenced that he was so good and he was trying so hard, but they're not giving him much in that script. And it was nice to see him in this one.
This was great because Jordan Sparks was fantastic.
Absolutely, man.
They were both very natural. I thought like just everybody was quite lovely in this.
Yeah.
Also, Kevin, we got to see Nelson Wong, our favorite mailman slash mayor slash mayor slash mayor.
Yes,
He's the mayor of Hallmark.
Yeah. He was also not the mayor. He was the, we never quite understood who he was, but he was in A Timeless Christmas with your boy, Ryan Pavey. Chris, give us some Ryan Pavey.
I love Ryan Pavey.
Awesome.
When he's trying to get his nephews like play or something in the thing, and Jordan Sparks' character was like, I saw it. It wasn't good.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that was also, that's the Webb family got to put whatever the hell they wanted in this time capsule. Like, they own this town.
Right. Like, last minute decision. Oh, this baby was born. We're putting this picture.
Well, no, our kid, it's a family member of ours. So let's show that the Webbs are part of. Yeah, it was funny because they go, we got to put 12 things in here, and they only mention 5 of what they put into the new time capsule. 2 of which, one was the most recent newspaper, which they had the most recent newspaper from 100 years ago. Yeah. And the second thing was the recipe, which was the recipe from 100 years ago. So they were really skimping.
They really, and you know what was more entertaining than that time capsule is the one from Parks and Rec when everyone, like Will Forte just wanted to put Twilight
all
in
the Twilight, yeah.
I will say there was a moment where the graphic designer in me screamed,
I bet.
No! And it was because they all worked at the whole family worked at this newspaper. Yeah. And there was a moment where the dad gets off the phone and he's like, oh, guess what? The Scooby-Doos want to put in a half-page ad. I'm going to let the team know that we have to adjust the layout. Do you know how annoying it is for someone to purchase a last-minute ad in a program? Because if your pages need to be divisible by 4, so that way the printers can print it properly. Mm-hmm. Now, if this was page 16 and now we're on 16 and a half, we need to add 4 more pages to make it 20 now.
You know what? They're all pictures of the new baby. They just go, let's just put a bunch of pictures of the baby in. Sounds good.
I literally was like, your team's going to hate you.
It is a newspaper though, so it's a little different. It's not so it was a little different.
Oh, I think I just have like PTSD from when people are like, oh, we have this to add. And then I'm like, beep, 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 beep. Those are my middle fingers.
I like your middle fingers. Yes, so this is the movie, though, that there clearly was a wormhole. I don't know where this took place. It's Pine Grove. They never say where Pine Grove is.
They get to New York real quick. They get to Chicago real quick.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Their chemistry was great. I loved his aunt. She was Terry O'Quinn's kind of becoming love interest in A Christmas Sale. You had a lot of people who were showing up doing double time just this season alone. Her father, we've seen her father in many films. We've seen him in something this year. I forget what it is. He was also in A Timeless Christmas, but that's not the one I'm thinking of. Mixed race. Like, this was nice. There was so much going on in this. This was a very nice film. I didn't feel it was slow. I honestly didn't.
I didn't either. I thought it was like, this is a normal pace for 2 people to get to know each other while also figuring out their lives.
Nobody questioning who has what food and how much of it. In fact, Kyle reopens the kitchen when Jordan Sparks comes in. She comes
That was one thing, Kevin, you will appreciate this too, because he was like, I hope you like crab. And I hate seafood and Kevin doesn't eat meat. Can you imagine if that bro brought in, I would be like, I'm not eating this.
I know. I said to Julie, I said, what if she goes, I'm allergic? Like, that's one, shellfish is something that a lot of people are allergic to. So him to do it and then give it to her and say, crab or lobster, I forget, it was a crab. I hope you like crab. It was like, dude, that's dangerous. Dangerous.
I would have been like, no, give me the sandwich I wanted.
Yeah. This is definitely one worth watching. It's on the naughty nice list. I gave this one a very nice.
I give it a very nice as well.
Kristin, who would you play in this film?
I'm going to take our buddy Wong's character. I want to play the mayor.
That's who I had you as too. Again, overall, great movie. Definitely worth checking that one out. Speaking of checking things out, Kristin, there were some fellas that we had to check out this week in our Hallmark Holiday Hunk Objectification.
We are indeed going to objectify the male leads in these 4 films, and I'm going to enjoy myself because this weekend Gird your loins.
Good crop.
Good crop of guys. Kevin, we first saw Gingerbread Miracle.
John Ecker, or John Michael Ecker, as he is sometimes listed.
Yeah. What do you think? Well, what do you think of this guy?
Listen, I liked him a lot. I loved this character. He was a strong character. He did not mind admitting that he had feelings and he was jealous of Jake. I dug him. He's a good-looking fella. He's got to keep a hold of his jackets a little bit more, though. That was my one complaint. Find your jacket, buddy. And what was with that weird veterinarian guy who served no point whatsoever in the movie?
I think that was just so like he had a friend.
His friend was his uncle. That's enough friends for you. We got to move this movie along. I'm going to give him an 8.5.
Hey, that's not bad. I think he's real cute. Also, crisp white shirt alert. I gave him an 8.5.
Kristin, in Next Stop Christmas. Now, this was confusing because on Hallmark, clearly Chandler Massey, playing Ben, was the lead. However, if you go to IMDb, he's so far down on the list, and it's Eric Freeman, not Grenier, as the... I don't want to rank Eric Freeman because, in my opinion, Chandler Massey is the lead. So
go ahead. What do you give him? He was a cutie patootie.
He was fun, man. He was that character. He's almost the Ducky character from Pretty in Pink who ends up with the girl. You know, so many of us are like, oh, why does Ducky end up with the girl? Because that's not the way it's supposed to work out. Calm down. It's just a movie.
He does end up with a girl because I turn off the movie when he says, do you want to, when she says, would you like to dance? And he says, well, it wouldn't be unheard of. I turn off the movie. I don't watch the rest of Pretty in Pink. He ends up with Andy in my mind.
Oh, so okay. So I apologize. I spoiled that movie for you, Kristin. Yes. So what ends up happening in this one is Ben gets a 7.5.
Woo! Yeah. So I think he's real cute. I like the friend vibe that he knows so much about her. I do like the Clark Kent vibe that he can look so different with glasses and without glasses. Beard, no beard. So I give him an 8. Give him an 8. And I'd also like to give Nicholas Delaney, the brother-in-law, an 8.2 because he can get it. He can get it.
He can get it. Go ahead, Nicholas. Good work. Good work. All right, Steve Lund.
Okay, I know exactly who this is. This is Jake from Schitt's Creek, who I have seen shirtless.
Yeah, we've talked about him before.
And building wood. So I love Steve Lund.
Yeah.
And I actually enjoyed this movie, even as ridiculous as it was. He was a great character in this. The only flaw he had was that he...
Wearing shirts.
Wearing shirts. That's accurate, because I was like, they got too many shirts on him. But I think he was wearing a white button down at one point. But his flaw was that he didn't tell his wife that he told the adoption agency that they were looking again, or the foster agency. That kind of PO'd me. But you know what? There was a moment they're laying in bed and the's just looking at his wife. She's talking and he was about to tell her. And then he was like, she's great. And I melted. There's something about his eyes that make me go,
that is also going to show up at the end of this episode, without a doubt.
So I give him a 9. I like it.
I didn't watch it, in fairness. I have not done that. I will not do.
Yeah.
Mrs. Claus. Actually, Mrs. Claus, let's bring her back. What would you give Stephen Lund, Mrs. Claus?
Mrs. Claus, I know you are already married to a 10 out of 10 mistletoe hunk. Okay. We know Santa is everything.
This is true.
But the lead guy in this, we like to objectify. Steve Lund is the hunk in this Hallmark film. I'd love to hear your opinion. I gave him a 9.
I will say he loves the children. He had some scruff, and Santa doesn't have much of a tan, but he did so because he doesn't go out much except for in the cold and the dark. And so I appreciated that he looked like he spent time outside. I would give him a 9.5, I think.
Mrs. Claus, you're married to a perfect 10. Stop looking. Stop shopping around. I will go with Kristin. She says 9. I'm not going to refute it. 9 all around. And finally, our last beefcake, as it were, Michael Xavier from A Christmas Treasure. Hey. Kristin, what should I give Michael Xavier? Because the answer is I'm going to give him an 8.79. Forget the decimals.
Listen, there was something really sexy about his voice.
Yeah.
There was a smoothness to it, and he never was awkward.
Yeah.
There was never a moment of cheesiness. And so I just really was like, okay, all right. I'm going to give him a solid 8.
Okay.
Because I loved his character and I loved it, and I find him attractive, but he doesn't have more than an 8 in my loins.
Okay. Well, the loins can grow, and that's what
I think an 8 is
see what happens next season. Next week, we have 4 new films. On Friday, November 12th, we have Open by Christmas. On Saturday, November 13th at 8 o'clock, we have My Christmas Family Tree, which sounds like a 23andMe situation.
Yeah, big time.
The Saturday night show over on the Movie Mystery Channel is One Night in December, which features Bruce Campbell and Peter Gallagher. I will definitely watch that one.
I'm going to lose my mind. I can't wait for that one, because also Brett Dalton of S.H.I.E.L.D. fame, Agent Ward, is in that. So I am excited.
And then finally on Sunday, November 14th at 8 p.m., A Holiday in Harlem, which is directed by Keith Powell, who we are working to try and get an interview with Mr. Powell to come on the show. So we'll cross our fingers. We'll see if that happens.
If anyone comes on our show, I'm going to lose my mind.
That'll be great. That'll be fantastic. And the last thing, Chris, I want to mention is we are still running 2 contests. The one, if you want to be our cheery Christmas correspondent, officer, programmer, whatever that was, C3PO. I did the officer and programmer backwards. R2D2. You can write to remarktheshow@gmail.com and tell us, hey, I want to talk about this. Again, you can do it in an email. You can come on and talk about it. We will work that out. Mm-hmm. And if you want to win one of these lovely elf scarves, we are doing trivia questions all month long. And next month, I guess, since it's November and December. This one, not this one. Michelle, I will give you a better one. But Michelle Stradley won our question, which is...
Really?
Yes. Kristin, the question was, what was it that Deborah was so cute her face could be on a...
Christmas card!
So there you have it. This week's question is from the movie Scrooged. Kristin Finger, you cannot answer this question. I will give you a scarf. You can answer it when we're off the air.
I know every line of that film as well.
In the IBC show, what is the name of the movie that Lee Majors stars where he saves Christmas? So, Kristin, do you know it? Do you know it?
Yes.
Are you texting me to prove it?
I'm writing it down to remember for next week.
If you know the answer to that question, email us at remarktheshow@gmail.com. Kristin Finger, what would you like to plug?
I want to plug happiness and comedy sports.
I would like to plug sadness in the sense that it's okay to be sad. That's totally cool, man. Hang in there. Yeah, it's tough times of year. I also want to support comedy sports. And I want to support Punch Out Podcast, the podcast that I do. Kristin Finger has been a guest on it. This week, running currently, we have a guest named Todd Rodenheiser. Next week, spoiler, we have Alan Williams. So check those out. You can go to the Punch Up Podcast at SoundCloud. Yes.
I give both of them 10 mistletoes.
Yes. Many people who've been on the show. Like Kelly Verman was on it a couple weeks ago. Trying to think of everyone who's ever... Matt Casarino, spoiler, is going to be on it upcoming soon. Mrs. Claus might have been on it. I'm just saying.
Basically, Kevin and I have the same friend circle. So
we don't have that many friends.
They come on all the dumb stuff that we do.
And I appreciate, you know what? That's what I want to plug. Friendship. Friendship is a beautiful
Friendship.
thing, and I want to plug it. So
I also want to plug that Kevin's birthday was on Friday. Happy birthday!
we'll have some cake. I probably should throw it out, but I'm going to eat a little of it. Also, Back to the Future happened on November 5th. That's my birthday, 1955. Not my birth year. That's the night that Next Stop Christmas should have been on, the 5th Friday, not the 6th Saturday. Just throwing it out there, Hallmark.
Agreed. Do your research.